Hi friends, we'll be starting with the second part of our male reproductive system, and we'll be including in this part 2 the scrotum and the testis. अब ये जो scrotum है, ये scrotum it is a cutaneous bag which is situated outside the body और इसके अंदर टेस्टिस मौजूद होता है। ये जो टेस्टिस है इसका टेम्परेचर मेंटेन करने के अंदर डाटोज मसल जो है बहुत बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है, जो स्क्रोटम को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करता है और रिलैक्स करता है, जिसकी वजह से टेस्टिस जो है वो इट गोज टूवर्ड्स द बॉडी एंड अवे फ्रॉम द बॉडी एंड दिस इज हाउ द टेम्परेचर इज मेंटेन। और स्क्रोटम एक ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर है जिसके अंदर पैथोलॉजिकल कंडीशन होने के बहुत ज़्यादा चांसेस है, बिकॉज यहाँ पे हेयर फॉलिकल्स भी होते हैं, you have the sebaceous gland also, and it is the most dependent area of the male reproductive system. So let us start off the scrotum and the testis, which I'll explain to you on the diagram. Thank you. Okay, the scrotum जैसे हमने बताया, it is a cutaneous bag. It is a cutaneous bag and it contains the testes. The right testes and the left testes. Along with the testes, it also contains the epididymis and the lower part of the spermatic cord. So these are the three structures that are present in the scrotum. Externally, when you talk about, the scrotum is divided into two parts, the right and the left part by a ridge or a raphe, which continues forward on the undersurface of the penis and backward and reaches right up to the anus. So it is divided into right and left part with the help of a ridge or a raphe, which is continuous right up to the undersurface of the penis and posteriorly up to the anus. The left half of the scrotum hangs a little lower than the right. That is because of the greater length of the spermatic cord. That means the spermatic cord left is longer in the length than the right one, and that is why the scrotum is a little lower in the left side rather than the right side. Now the most important thing is that in a robust person, in a young person, and under the influence of the cold, the scrotum is short and corrugated and closely applied to the testes. Okay, so in the cold, in young and in robust person, okay, the testis is closely towards the scrotum, but whereas in old, under the influence of the warmth, okay, and in debilitated person, okay, the scrotum is away, okay, the scrotum is elongated, and this is due to the dartos muscle, as I've already told you, and this maintains the temperature, or this helps in maintaining the temperature of the testes. So this is again a very important function of the scrotum. The layers of the scrotum is made up of 5 layers. Okay, so if this is the penis and this is the scrotum, okay, so this is the outer layer is the skin. Then you have the inner layer of the dartos muscle. So you have the external, which is the skin. This layer is the dartos muscle. Then you have 3 fascias. Okay, the third layer from outside is the external spermatic fascia. Then you have the cremastic fascia. You have the cremastic fascia, and internally again you have one more fascia that is called as the this is called the internal spermatic fascia. So these are the 5 layers. The outer layer is the skin, then the dartos muscle, then the external spermatic fascia, then the cremastic fascia, and the internal spermatic fascia. Now the dartos muscle and the cremastic fascia ये बहुत important रोल प्ले करते हैं. जैसे मैंने बताया कि स्क्रोटम को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट और रिलैक्स करने के लिए डार्टोस मसल रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, एंड देयर इज वन कंडीशन तो विच इज कॉल्ड एज क्रेमास्टिक रिफ्लेक्स. ये if you have doubt that the dissension of the testes has not taken place completely, we do there is a reflex. तो थाइस के इनर एस्पेक्ट के ऊपर, इफ सी दिस इज द थाइस, यू हैव द स्क्रोटम हियर, गॉट इट. तो थाइस के इनर एस्पेक्ट के ऊपर एक चावी अपने पेन से यू हैव टू जस्ट पुट अ unknowingly you have to put a reflex here, and because of this the testes or the scrotum, the testes are pushed up, they are taken inside, and this is because of the cremastic fascia. तो ये cremastic reflex कहते हैं इसको. If the cremastic reflex is positive, that means that there is total or complete dissension of the testes has taken place. Now let's talk about the blood supply. See, nerve supply इसके अंदर बहुत important है, लेकिन before going to the nerve supply we'll talk about the blood supply. Now the blood supply, you have number 1 superficial external pudendal artery, you have the deep external pudendal artery, you have the scrotal branch of internal pudendal artery, and the cremastic branch of the inferior epigastric artery. So these are the 4 blood supply or the arterial supply, and you have the same venous drainage. The nerve supply is having 2 parts, So the anterior 1/3 and the posterior 2/3. So these two are supplied by 2 different nerves. Okay. Now this portion is basically by the L1 segment, and this is by the S3 segment of the spinal cord. So L1 and S3, और because क्या है कि ये दोनों इतने वास्ट है L1 से S3, इसकी वजह से जब भी हम स्पाइनल एनेस्थीसिया देते हैं तो टोटल एनेस्थीसिया होने के चांसेस बहुत कम हो जाते हैं, डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता है, बिकॉज ऑफ एन वाइडली सेपरेटेड डर्मेटोम्स. Okay, so you have the anterior 1/3 from the L1 branch of the spinal cord through the ilioinguinal nerve, and the genital branch of genitofemoral nerve. Got it? So the anterior 1/3 is from this L1 segment of the spinal cord by the ilioinguinal nerve and the genital branch of the genitofemoral nerve. The posterior 2/3 of the scrotum is supplied by S3 of the spinal cord through the posterior scrotal branch of pudendal nerve and the perineal branch of the posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh. Okay, तो याद इतना ही रखना है आपको कि anterior 1/3 is by L1 segment, posterior 2/3 by S3 segment. L1 ilioinguinal nerve and genital branch of genital femoral nerve, and S3 of the posterior scrotal branch and the perineal branch. This much is sufficient for the nerve supply. Now, as I was talking about is that the clinical anatomy. अब इसमें होता क्या है कि चलो इसी पे we'll just do it on this, will not go anywhere else, so that this page will give you a very extensive नोटिफिकेशन, ओके, कि मेरे पास पूरा है. अब इसके अंदर देखो, मैंने बताया था कि इसके ऊपर हेयर फॉलिकल्स बहुत होते हैं और सिबेशियस बहुत होते हैं, तो इसके वजह से इट इज़ अ कॉमन साइट फॉर एडिमा. एडिमा होने के ज़्यादा चांसेस है बिकॉज ऑफ डिपेंडेंसी. यहाँ पे सिबेशियस ग्लैंड होते हैं, इसके लिए सिबेशियस सिस्ट. Sebaceous cyst is again very common. Then you have a condition which is called as hydrocele. Okay, it is a condition of hydrocele, okay, in which the fluid accumulates in the tunica vaginalis of testes. Actually, hydrocele is the problem or the pathological condition of the testes. लीक ऑफ, मतलब उसमें क्या होता है कि ट्यूनिका वेजिनालिस के अंदर देयर इज फ्लूइड एक्यूमुलेशन, और जिसकी वजह से स्क्रोटम के ऊपर पूरी स्वेलिंग नज़र आती. द फोर्थ इज दैट इट इज़ you can see a scrotal swelling due to the inguinal hernia, okay, complete inguinal hernia, okay, and elephantiasis. अब इसके अंदर क्या होता है कि जो स्किन और सबक्यूटेनियस टिश्यूज होते हैं, दे बिकम हाइपोट्रोफिड, okay, and they increase in the dimension, and this is usually seen in the condition which is called elephantiasis या filariasis जिसे हम कहते हैं. और ये स्किन के ऊपर भी एलर्जिक कंडीशन, इट इज़ प्रोन फॉर एलर्जिक कंडीशंस, and it is also prone for the fungal infection. Okay, so this total page will give you a total idea of the scrotum, uterus bag, उसके अंदर क्या मौजूद है, डिवाइजन, रोबोस्ट और कोल्ड के अंदर डार्टोस मसल, ओल्ड डार्टोस मसल क्या कंडीशंस है और कैसा टेम्परेचर को मेंटेन करता है, द लेयर्स ऑफ द टेस्टिस, द ब्लड सप्लाई, द नर्व सप्लाई, एंड दिस इज द clinical feature or the applied anatomy. Testes are the male gonads and are homologous with the ovaries of the female. The testes are suspended in the scrotum, as I have told you, with the help of spermatic cord, okay, and it is oval in shape. It measures, it's you can say that it is 3 by 2 by 1, but not exactly 1, just to remember. So actually it is 3 inches, 2 inches and 1 inches, just to remember. The exact figure is, it is 3.75 centimeters in length, it is 2.5 centimeters broad, and it is 1.8 centimeters in its thickness, with measuring approximately 10 to 15 grams in weight. It is flat. It has 2 poles, the upper and the lower. It has 2 borders, the anterior and the posterior, and 2 surfaces, the medial and the lateral. Okay, now let's talk about the poles, the borders and the surfaces separately. Importantly is, the upper and the lower poles are convex and smooth. The upper pole gives attachment to the spermatic cord, and it has a small oval body which is present, that is called as the appendix of testes, which is called as appendix of testes. This is the remnant of paramesonephric duct. It is the remnant of paramesonephric duct. So these two structures are present on the upper pole. Lower pole is convex and is situated down. The two borders which are there, the anterior and the posterior border. The anterior border, okay, so the anterior border is convex and smooth and is fully covered by tunica vaginalis. It is covered by tunica vaginalis, whereas the posterior surface is partially covered. This is partially covered by the tunica vaginalis. It is partially covered by tunica vaginalis. The posterior border, okay, at the posterior border you have epididymis which is present on its lateral part. तो पोस्टीरियर बॉर्डर के लैटरल पार्ट के ऊपर एपिडिडेमिस मौजूद है. You have epididymis. Okay, so the posterior border is important because it has epididymis in it, and at the posterior border, there is a small space between the tunica vaginalis that is called as sinus of epididymis. I'll show you that in the diagram. So this is the anterior border and this is the posterior border. So if you talk about this structure, this is the external part, okay, this is the tunica vaginalis, okay, this is the anterior part and this is the posterior part. Got my point? So when we talk about the covering of the testes, before coming to the coverings, let's explain to you in short that you have two surfaces, the medial and the lateral. Both these surfaces are convex and smooth. Okay, so we have completed the two poles, the two borders and two surfaces. Now let me talk to you about the coverings. So these are the coverings of testes. How many coverings do you have? Yeah, coverings. Okay, you have three coverings. First is called as tunica vaginalis. The second is the tunica albuginea. And the third is the tunica vasculosa. These are the three coverings or the three coats of the testis. So tunica vaginalis is the first layer from outside. Now this tunica vaginalis represents the lower persistent portion of processus vaginalis. Okay, so this is the persistent portion of processus vaginalis. Okay, so this is the layer. Now this tunica vaginalis has two layers. This is called the parietal and this is called as the visceral. The visceral layer of tunica vaginalis. Then you have the inner layer. Okay, this is the inner layer, which is the this total portion is called as the tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea, and the inner layer is the tunica vasculosa. It is a vascular coat of the testes lining the lobules. Now this tunica albuginea, this tunica vaginalis, at its posterior border, it curves down and it divides and it forms a small space here. This is called as the sinus of epididymis. Okay, so this is the sinus of epididymis. Okay, so this is tunica vaginalis. Tunica albuginea is a dense white fibrous coat. It is a dense white fibrous coat which covers the testes all around and is covered by the visceral layer of the tunica vaginalis, except at the posterior where the testicular vessels and the nerves enter the gland. The posterior border of the tunica albuginea is thickened to form the incomplete vertical septum called as mediastinum testis. So this portion is the mediastinum testis, which is wider above than below. Numerous septa extends from this mediastinum to the inner surface of the tunica albuginea. So here these are the septa. Okay, these are the septa which starts from the mediastinum and they divide the testes into 200 to 300 lobules. Okay, now within these lobules you have the seminiferous tubules. There are seminiferous tubules which are present here. So you have approximately 200 to 300 lobules in each testis. Within this testes you have 2 to 3 seminiferous tubules. So these are the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules, 2 to 3 in each lobule. Now these are very highly coiled. It coils on itself and when stretched out they measure approximately 60 centimeter with a diameter of 0.2 mm. Okay, and each tubule are lined by cells which represents the stages of the formation of spermatozoa. So basically the seminiferous tubules are responsible for the formation of the spermatozoa. The seminiferous tubules together, okay, when they come out here, together they come out here and they form 20 to 30 straight tubules. So this seminiferous tubules forms straight tubules which are 20 to 30 in number. Now these enter into the mediastinum. Here they anastomose with each other and form a network which is called as rete testes. Okay, the rete testes gives rise to 12 to 30 efferent ductules. These efferent ductules again join together, okay, and then they form the epididymis, okay, which is here. Okay, so they come out here. So these come here, they form straight tubules. Here they again form the portion which is called as rete testes, and then they come out, and when they come out they form the epididymis. So you have the head of the epididymis, then you have the body of the epididymis, you have the tail of the epididymis, and then this goes and forms the ductus deferens. So the procedure is very simple. Just to revise again, the outer covering is called as tunica vaginalis. It has two layers, the parietal, the visceral. The important structure is the tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea lower part is called as the mediastinum testis. Here it gives the lobules. Lobules contain the seminiferous tubules. They measure 60 centimeter in its length with a diameter of 0.2 mm. These seminiferous tubules come out, they form the straight tubules, 20 to 30 in number. These come together to form the rete testes. Rete testes gives again 20 to 30 efferent ductules. Efferent ductules join together to form the epididymis. Epididymis has three parts: the head of epididymis, the body of the epididymis, the tail of the epididymis, which goes and joins the ductus deferens. Okay, the blood supply of the testes. We talk about the arterial supply. Arterial supply is by the testicular artery. So it is by the testicular artery. Now this testicular artery ये directly abdominal aorta से आती है at the level of L2. It descends down. It goes into the posterior abdominal wall and reaches the deep inguinal ring where it enters the spermatic cord. At this level, it gives rise to two branches, okay, the small branch and the larger branch. Small branches directly supply and the large branches जो होती है वो दो होती है, the medial and the lateral. Now these medial and lateral branches pierces the tunica albuginea and enters into the tunica vasculosa. ये है artery supply. Venous supply जो है, जो veins है, ये होती है पैम्पनीफॉर्म प्लेक्सिस. ओके, तो ये पैम्पनीफॉर्म प्लेक्सिस होती है और ये पैम्पनीफॉर्म प्लेक्सिस इसका मतलब होता है लाइक अ वाइन. वाइन जैसे मतलब एक झाड़ के ऊपर जैसे बेल होती है, वो कैसे एक झाड़ के ऊपर ऐसे एक झाड़ है तो उसके ऊपर ऐसे ऐसी ऐसी घूमती है, उसी तरीके से ये ऐसी बेल इसके ऊपर चढ़ती है. नाउ दिस पैम्पनीफॉर्म प्लेक्सिस को 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड किया गया है. ओके, एंटीरियर पार्ट, मिडिल पार्ट एंड पोस्टीरियर पार्ट. तो एंटीरियर पार्ट जो होता है टेस्टिस का, दिस इज अरेंज्ड अराउंड द टेस्टिकुलर आर्टरीज. मिडिल पार्ट इज अरेंज्ड एट द डक्टस डिफरेंस और जो पोस्टीरियर पार्ट होता है वो है आइसोलेटेड. तो पैम्पनीफॉर्म प्लेक्सिस इज हैविंग 3 portions. The anterior portion which is arranged around the testicular artery, the middle portion which is arranged at the ductus deferens and the posterior part is isolated. अब ये पैम्पनीफॉर्म प्लेक्सिस ये निकलती है बाहर, ओके, और ये कंडेंस होती है इनटू 4 वेन्स. ओके, और ये 4 वेन्स it is condensed at the superficial inguinal ring and 2 veins are condensed at the deep inguinal ring. So पैम्पनीफॉर्m plexus, they come out at the superficial inguinal ring, 4 veins, at the deep inguinal ring, 2 veins. But all these 6 are drained into inferior vena cava and renal vein. But importantly, the right side is drained into inferior vena cava and the left side is drained into the left renal vein. तो ये आर्टेरियल सप्लाई, वेनस सप्लाई, नर्व सप्लाई. नर्व सप्लाई जो है ये सिंपैथेटिक है. इट राइजेस फ्रॉम द T10 लेवल. इट passes through the renal and the aortic plexus. The nerves are both efferent for testicular sensation and efferent to the blood vessel. That means it is vasomotor. So nerves are sympathetic, T10 level. They pass through the renal and the aortic plexus. They are testicular sensory nerves and also vasomotor. The lymphatic drainage are drained into the pre-aortic and the para-aortic group of lymph nodes. So this is the total arterial supply, the venous supply, the nerve supply and the lymphatic drainage. Okay, now let's talk about the clinical anatomy. टेस्टिस इज जैसे मैंने बताया कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रक्चर है. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि टेस्टिस डिसेंड नहीं होती नीचे. ओके, इफ डज नॉट डिसेंड प्रॉपरली, इनकम्प्लीट डिसीजन भी है, कभी कभी डिसेंशन भी नहीं होती है. तो ऐसी सूरत में टेस्टिस अपनी जगह पे मौजूद नहीं रहती. तो व्हेन द टेस्टिस इज नॉट प्रेजेंट इन इट्स नॉर्मल पोजिशन, इट इज कॉल्ड एक्टोपिक टेस्टिस. नाउ दिस कैन बी एनीवेयर. It can be higher up in the abdomen, it can be in the lower abdominal wall, or it can be in the inguinal ring also. So if the testis is not descended also, it is also called as cryptorchidism. It is also called as cryptorchidism. And sometimes testes can be absent. It is called as anorchism. No testes. या कभी कभी टेस्टिस जो है वो एक साइड हो सकती है. दैट कुड बी ओनली वन टेस्टिस. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज मोनॉर्किज्म. सो यू हैव एनॉर्किज्म, नो टेस्टिस, और यू कैन हैव मोनॉर्किज्म, ओनली वन टेस्टिस, और डिसेंशन इज नॉट completed इट इज़ कॉल्ड एज क्रिप्टोर्किडिज्म। और टेस्टिस कभी कभी अपने पोजीशन से हट के हो सकती है, इन द लोअर एब्डोमिनल वॉल, इन द रीनल फोसा, इन द राइट इलियक फोसा, इन द डीप इंग्वाइनल रिंग, इन द इंग्वाइनल कैनाल। तो ऐसी जगह पे अगर है तो उसको कहते हैं हम क्या, वो एक्टोपिक टेस्टिस है। अब देखो, टेस्टिस इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर स्पर्मेटोजेनेसिस। जैसे मैंने बताया कि सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स जो होते हैं उसके अंदर जो उसकी लाइनिंग होती है सेल की, वहाँ पर स्पर्मेटोजोआ प्रोड्यूस होती है। सो दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्ट्रक्चर फॉर स्पर्मेटोजेनेसिस। But the most important thing what we have to remember is that testes normal position पे है और उसके बावजूद सीमेन के अंदर अगर स्पर्म्स मौजूद नहीं है, ओके, दैट मीन्स देयर इज एजोस्पर्मिया। नाउ दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉज ऑफ स्टेरिलिटी, यू नो, कि जैसे फीमेल्स के अंदर भी हमने इसका डिस्कशन किया, विल नॉट गो इनटू डिटेल्स, बट द वन कॉज ऑफ स्टेरिलिटी इन मेल्स इज के वहाँ पे स्पर्म्स नहीं है, ओके, एजोस्पर्मिया है। इन semen analysis when you go for checking, you come to know that there is no sperms, okay. If there is less sperm counts, it is called as oligospermia, or if there is no sperm, it's called as azoospermia, okay. So the normal count of the sperm should be approximately 60 million to 100 millions, okay, with a good motility. Now that is a real fertile sperms. अब जैसे हम लोगों ने देखो अभी देखें कि पैम्पनिफॉर्म प्लेक्सेस होते हैं टेस्टिस के ऊपर, है ना, एंड दे आर सराउंडिंग द एंटीरियर पार्ट ऑफ द वेन्स, दे कवर द टेस्टिकुलर आर्टरी, द मिडिल पोर्शन द डक्टस डिफरेंस। तो यहाँ पर क्या होता है कि वेन्स जो है वो टेस्टिकुलर आर्टरी के ऊपर या डक्टस डिफरेंस के ऊपर एक गुच्छा बना देते हैं, देयर इज अ वेरिकोज हो जाता है, वेरिकोसिटी आ जाती है, द क्लस्टर ऑफ वेन्स आर फॉर्म। नाउ बिकॉज देयर इज क्लस्टर ऑफ वेन्स और वहाँ पे पूरा एक वेन्स का एक गुच्छा नज़र आ जाता है, एक क्लस्टर फॉर्मेशन में नज़र आता है। इसकी वजह से क्या होता है, जो टेस्टीज जो स्पर्म्स को तैयार कर रही है, जो स्पर्मेटोजोआ नॉर्मल है, उसके बावजूद जो स्पर्म्स जो है दे डाई। That means the production of the sperms are there, but then also they die. And when you go for semen analysis, you come to know that there is oligospermia या कभी कभी एजोस्पर्मिया नजर आता है। तो ऐसी सूरत के अंदर we have to confirm whether there is hydrocele or varicocele. हाइड्रोसील क्या है, वन मोर कंडीशन है टेस्टिस की, जिसके अंदर ट्यूनिका एल्बुजिनिया के अंदर जो है जो पानी जमा हो जाता है, फ्लूइड एक्यूमुलेट हो जाता है और वहाँ पे यू हैव फ्लूइड अकोमोडेशन इन ट्यूनिका वेजिनालिस, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज हाइड्रोसील। सो दैट इज वन कंडीशन। लेकिन इंपॉर्टेंट कंडीशन मैंने बताया वेरिकोसील, जहाँ पे वेज जो है वो जमा हो जाती है और टेम्परेचर बढ़ जाता है टेस्टिस का, और जिसकी वजह से जो स्पर्म्स जो है वो डाई हो जाते हैं, एंड सेवन एनालिसिस यू हैव azoospermia. So these are two conditions which you have to rule out with the help of sonography. You come to know टेस्टिस की सोनोग्राफी करने के बाद क्या हाइड्रोसील है या वेरिकोसील है। अगर वेरिकोसील है, you have to operate the patient for varicocele, and then after 1 or 2 months you have to again go for semen analysis, and then also if you find that there is no sperm or azoospermia है, then you have to go for testicular biopsy, जिसके अंदर हमको पता चलता है कि स्पर्मेटिड्स, ये सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स या सर्टोली सेल्स जो प्रोड्यूस करती है स्पर्म्स को, वो वहाँ पे मौजूद है, एंड देन यू कैन गो एंड फर्दर डिसाइड व्हाट ट्रीटमेंट इज रिक्वायर्ड टू द पेशेंट, यस और नो। सो तो क्लिनिकल एनाटॉमी के अंदर हमने देखे वेरिकोसील, हाइड्रोसील, मोनोर्किज्म, एनोर्किज्म, क्रिप्टोर्किज्म, एंड अनडिसेंशन ऑफ testes is also seen along with ectopic testes. So these are the few conditions which you have to keep in mind. The questions which can be asked in the male reproductive system can be, explain the external genitalia in detail. You have to explain the cavernous, the spongiosum, the root of the penis and the free portion. टेस्टिस के अंदर ट्रांसवर्स सेक्शन को आपको एक्सप्लेन करना, जो मैंने डायग्राम में बताया है, ट्यूनिका वेजिनालिस, ट्यूनिका एल्बुजिनिया, उसके सेप्टास, उसके अंदर के लोब्यूल्स, उसके अंदर प्रोजूल मौजूद सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल्स, एंड देन इट्स कंटिन्यूएशन इनटू रेटेड टेस्टिस, then into epididymis, and the head of the epididymis, the body of the epididymis, the tail of the epididymis. This is what you have to explain, and the important thing what you have to remember is the clinical anatomy of the testes, which has to remember whatever the question be in the male genitalia, you have to mention clinical anatomy in details, and that is very important. So I think I've tried and covered the maximum portion of anatomy which is there, and rest I think you have to go through your books and learn what to and learn how to write what you have learned. So that is very important. Formation of sentences and formation of the words and the spellings are very important. Thank you very much for your patience to hear my lecture, and please comment and like this video. Thank you very much.